Hi, I think I'm going live. Let's have a look. There we go. Hi, Sarah Mack here from withsarahmack.com, and I want to talk about the process of moving from overcomplicating to finding ease in business. And actually, this applies to everything. And I see myself going through this process over and over and over and over again every time I want to reach a new income goal, every time I want to simplify or create new income streams or create new systems around just things being easier or more impactful or more scalable in the work that I'm doing. And really, this is a conversation of self trust. And I see this again and again with my clients. It's like as you move into something, there's an area of discomfort. It triggers the ego, it triggers the fear, which triggers all of these stories of, well, I have to do this and this and this and this and this, and or I'm not good enough because of this reason and this reason and this reason, and it's going to be really hard because of all of these reasons, and it's going to take all this time because of all of these reasons, and that's just our brain who's trying to prevent us from making changes and just staying with the status quo. So this really is the process of transformation, and it honestly blows my mind how simple and easy it can be when we manage to move that conversation out of the way. So, and just looking at the transition that I've made in my own business is like absolutely mind-blowingly phenomenal in being able to consistently put myself in places where I allow myself to move the overcomplication out of the way over and over again, because it always keeps happening, right? No matter what level you're at. So just looking at, back in the day when I was doing tons and tons and tons, like thousands of different clients as a copywriter, doing lots of different low paid gigs, to shifting my mindset, knowing I wanted something different, simplifying, and, moving to way less sales at much higher prices with much more strategic targeting, more scalable offers, all of these types of little tweaks that happen as you start to step out of the overcomplication. Way less sales conversations and negotiations, way less time and energy involved, way more money and freedom on the other side of that. Way less planning as well, which is what happens when you simplify. And it's almost like there's this resistance to simplification because of this hierarchical, overthinking. Like, we're in a society that prioritizes overthinking everything. If we haven't written 50 million pages, then it's not, a valuable term paper at university. If you haven't, done this 50 million times, then you're not an expert at it. And all of these types of narratives that lead us to believe that complicated things are better and more advanced than simple things. Like, even the word simple, like calling somebody simple is an insult, right? Like, culturally in our stories, like, he's a simpleton. That word has negative connotations. So no wonder we like to overcomplicate unconsciously, because we're trying to prove our worth through doing it. So the antidote that I have found to this overcomplication, to the overplanning, and I've proven to myself many, many times that I can try and plan something out to the nines. It's not going to go to plan. It doesn't make the experience of the execution any better than if I just leapt in. And actually, it's always been better when I've just leapt in and figured it out along the way. It has given me way more time than trying to plan it all. So that's really my strategy in the way that I frame this conversation of getting out of overcomplication into way more fun, way more abundance, way more money, way more expansiveness, is to follow the fun, is to follow our desire. So this is really a conversation about self-trust. And that's exactly what it's been for me, in taking many, many leaps and having no clue how it was going to work out, and proving to myself over and over and over again that it always does, even if sometimes it doesn't appear to be working out. And really, that's where the clarity comes. When we do the mindset work to get over the fear, that's asking us to make it take time, make it take tons and tons of work. And I still do this in different areas, which is why I'm always putting myself in support containers that allow me to move that conversation out of the way and get that objectivity to really hyper focus on the simple, clear, effective plan that sometimes can feel boring because it's so simple. because I've done it before, because it's so accessible, because it's so within my reach, and to really lean into that and to work it and to be consistent with it over and over and over again. Because actually, that's really where the real fun happens, when you do very small amounts of actual work and then you have all of the energy for the fun, for the freedom, and the things outside of business, let's be honest. So clarity comes when we really are able to tune into that desire. And that was a big practice for me for a long time. There was a lot of shame about my desires. There was a lot of complex emotions that got in the way, and created overcomplication when it came to really listening to what I want, to the place where I was confidently choosing to execute on that and follow through on that. And it's really about trust in that process. And again, creating those containers to sift through the noise, to come back to the conversation of, well, what do you actually want? What works? What feels like the path of least resistance? What's available and accessible to me right now? And to be confidently following through and executing on that plan. And really practice, like practice being in that conversation. And very much being in flow. And even this idea of having a business plan, like I've never had like a very complicated business plan. I've had ideas and models, obviously, that I've been inspired by coaches and mentors that I've worked with, but I've never like sat down and done this like painstaking business plan, because I'm like, what if I spend all this time making this giant plan and then I execute half of it and then I'm like, this isn't fun and I don't want to do this anymore? And to be able to trust the flow and go with the flow. And that's literally worked out for me at every single stage in my business. So, for an example, a conversation that I just had with one of my new clients in Freedom Club in the mastermind, she came in and was like, I'm not even sure if I'm ready to coach yet. Bam, bam, bam. Asked her a couple of, points about her story, about her desire, about why she's here in the first place, about what the work that she's really, feeling inspired and called to step into as her next level. And just that conversation of what is inside of her, what desire is inside of her, what embodied wisdom and experience she's bringing to that conversation and that is connected to that desire. And suddenly it becomes crystal clear what her offer is, exactly who it is that she's speaking to, exactly what it is that she wants to help with them, even the exact pieces of her content strategy that are going to attract those very specific people that are going to be very easy and fun for her to work with, because she is so well positioned. It's really about positioning, and that clarity comes from desire, comes from your story, comes from your embodied wisdom, and it's literally like there to unravel within 15 minutes. When we get out of the stories of like, I'm not ready yet, this is going to be really hard, I have to do this giant plan and think through all the step by steps, and yes, obviously we will be doing that one step at a time, executing that and delivering that and allowing that to unfold. But allowing desire to be the thing that leads means that it's always going to be fun. Like, it's always going to be fun at every step. You're never going to have to push through. You're never going to have to do something for the sake of getting somewhere and then be able to enjoy it and have fun at the end. When you allow your desire to lead in everything that you're creating, in all of the work that you're focusing on, in all of the people that you're focusing on, helping, in the conversations around the specific thing that you do for people, prioritizing the ones that are the most interesting and are the most fun for you and have the most resonance for you, which comes when you just speak from the heart and you allow that to come through. It's all here. It can be so mind-blowingly simple and so easy to access that clarity. So it's really about practicing self-trust. It's really about if you feel like there's not clarity around a certain direction, or you're in a conversation of like, it needs to be hard and there needs to be 10 million steps before I can do this. No, I challenge you, I invite you, what if it could be easy? What if it could be fun? What if it's available to me now? What if everything that I desire is I'm capable of? Because it wouldn't be a desire if I didn't have the capacity to be able to create it right now in this moment, not somewhere down the line. And also, catch yourself if you find you're in the creation process of your desires and you're doing all the things that, are genuine desires for you, but you're making it hard by overcomplicating it. And I've been there too, like over questioning, having doubts, and that you're in that period of there's no like immediate validation yet, there's no immediate result, you're really putting yourself out there, you're taking a leap of faith and it's not coming back yet, and you're in that waiting period, that's another period where the overcomplication can spring in and give you loads of extra work to do that just doesn't need to be done. To really have faith and executing on the desire, what feels right for you, and then taking that space and really, like, it's about retraining our nervous system to allow ourselves to be calm, to allow ourselves to have fun, to allow ourselves to not micromanage, to allow ourselves to not overthink, and watch as things unfold like magic, and watch as things unfold like magic in way more fun ways than we ever allowed ourselves to unfold them before. So I have opened up spots, and I have a special on my 90-minute one-on-one intensive where we get to outline your next 5-figure offer, whatever it is that's on your heart that you most desire to be helping people with as a coach. And we'll outline the sales page, the content strategy, you know, the key points of the curriculum, how to communicate them and how to talk about them in a way that strategically, specifically speaks to your ideal client, how to frame your story, which parts of your story to talk about, so that you're magnetizing only those people that are the perfect fit for you, that all you need to do is show up and open your mouth and allow them to ask questions, and you will be the person that is best positioned to support them, which is the power of just sharing your story and your true desires. And you also get 7 days of support to integrate as you're, you know, putting your copy out there, launching, finalizing everything, getting that promotion going, and getting those dream clients up in your inbox, ready to buy, no sales calls required, because when you sell strategically in this way through your content, it's easy. You're a lighthouse to the people who are a good fit to work with you, and it's obvious and very easy for them to say yes, regardless as to how much money you're charging. So I have a few spots available. It's going to be regular 2,222, but until Friday it's 1,111. So message me if you would like to do the 90-minute intensive. And I hope this conversation has resonated and supported you to step into more self-trust today. And please share this with anyone else you know it will resonate with. Thanks for watching. Bye.